Hi everyone, I'm Janelle with Toons Unlimited, and this is part 3 of this playlist series. And in this video, I am going to cover how to convert your character face from a front angle to a 315 angle. So stay tuned because this video is coming up next. ToonsUnlimited.com. Okay, so on our previous video, we converted this character face from the front to the back angle, and now we're going to convert it to the 315 and the 225 angle. So to get started, the first thing we're going to do is, once again, we're going to duplicate our layer for the 0-degree angle. So I'm going to go ahead and hit duplicate, and we're going to rename this our 315 angle. And what I'm going to do is expand this because I want to make sure all of the files are selected and nothing is locked. And then I want to slide it over. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is hide all of my layers except the face layer because everything will need to be modified. Okay, so I am zoomed in and I'm going to bring my guides up because I want to break up the face to make it more ideal for the 315 angle. So I want a line right here, and what I'll do is highlight everything on this side of the line, and I just want to hold the Alt key on your computer and slowly bring this in some to about right here. And now we're going to do the same thing on the other end, except for we're going to expand it out some. So that's about right there. Now I want to make sure that my dimensions hold up. So I'm going to just copy and paste this just to see if they're about the same size. And they're pretty close. So that means when this character rotates, the face would look fairly smooth. Okay, so now I'm going to get rid of that guide. Let me go in and unlock my guide for a second. And now I want to readjust this to where the eyes, to make it right in the middle of each eye. So if you think of it as an imaginary line and your face angle is now, let me see here. I'm going to use my drawing pen for just a second, but if you think of it as your face angle is roughly here and now here to draw the eyes, and the eyes are basically here. So we're going to now move this line to about right here on the face. And now I'm going to slowly bring in the eyes and make sure that they're in the middle of that line. And next I'm going to bring in the nose. Now the nose can go slightly over. And I want to make a slight modification to the nose because the nose is turning. So what I would like to do is I'm going to quickly lock my lines again. Lock the guides up. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I want to take a little chunk off of this part of the nose. So if we made the modification to the nose, we're going to lock that layer and move over to the mouth. And the only thing we need to do to the mouth is get it centered with the line. So it's right there. We're going to go ahead and bring up the left ear. And at this angle, I want the ear to be a little wider because if you're looking at it from the front angle, you're not going to see the whole width of your ear. But when you start to turn to a 315 or a side angle, you'll see more of it. So I'm going to hold the Alt button down, and that way I'm readjusting from just one side. So I'm going to bring it out some, and I still want this to slide over a little bit. And for the right ear, I need to bring that in, and I only want a very small piece of it to show. Now, I know this looks weird because everything is with no fills, so you see right through. But as we start to put the colors in, you will only see a small piece of that ear. Now, here's where the layering starts to change, because I need this right ear behind my face. So I'm going to drag it all the way down so that it's behind the face. So I'm going to move on to the hair, the front hair. The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and delete half of the hair. And I'm going to select the other half, hold on to the Alt button again, and I'm just going to slide this up until it lines up with the face, so about right there. And I want to copy this portion of my hair. So I'm going to copy that, paste in place, and then flip it. And we're going to drag this over till it lines up. But now we're going to use the Alt button and slide it all the way over to where this ear and hairline meets. So I'm going to hide the guides for a second. And I accidentally stopped recording for a second, but the only change I made was a line from the ear to above his head. Okay, I'm going to go in, and there's nothing left to do but to connect the rest of the head, the hair. So I will form this to look similar to the other side of the head. And we could probably bring this down just a little bit, about right here, to give it a different perspective. And that looks pretty decent. So now that we have the 315 angle complete, we are going to collapse this folder real quick. And once again, we're going to make a duplicate layer, and it will be our 225 layer. And expand it and just make sure everything is unlocked and that you select all of your files, and we're going to slide it over. And so once again, on this layer, we can delete any of the files that we do not need to use. And what we won't need is the mouth and the eyes, and probably the right ear. We will need the left ear, and we will change. Let's go ahead and take out the inner portions of the hairline because we are working on a back angle. And I do believe we will need a little bit of the nose, just because he has such a big nose. I anticipate it poking out just a little bit. So maybe that much of the nose is showing. Now, this is the back angle, so you want to make sure that you drag your nose down to the bottom below the face. And that means that when we start to color this in, the face will be in a layer in front of the nose. Now, for the ear needs to be flipped. And so I'm going to go ahead and flip this ear. And we need to start to move it over towards the nose, say about right there. And now I'm going to bring up my guide, and I need to make my guide start here, and then I will dip it down a little further. So I'm going to raise it up a little bit, Bring in the line tool. So let me zoom in some. Zoom out. But I want to create a little dip about right here. And I need my hairline here to come all the way down to where the bottom meets. And so now all we need to do is connect the hair from this side to this side. At this angle, actually, I don't want the ear to be this direction. I'm going to flip it back. I still want it to be at that location. Move it back over a little bit. Just not in that direction. So about right there. Now before I do the rest of this hair, I'm going to lock all of the layers except that front hair layer. And I'm going to put the ear in outline mode. See, I already made the mistake of drawing part of the hair on the ear. So let me cut that, lock the ear, and paste this on the proper line. So I want a line from the back of the ear, one to the top of the ear, and then one about here. And what we're going to do is just kind of make a similar curve. This curve will be hidden. It will not show because the ear will be in front of it. But you still want it to have a similar bend like your ear. So this will be something that hooks around the ear. And this will bend up. And what I really want to do is see where this hairline is at. So I'm going to bring in another guide. And I see I can raise this up just a little bit. And then kind of create a little arch from there. And then finally from this angle, I'm going to bring this hair up to meet up with it. Now there's a couple of things we can do. I want to go back to the face real quick. So with the face, the only thing I see that we can correct is I want to get rid of this double chin. It will still show the bottom outline, but I want to get rid of the part that's right here. So I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to use my lasso tool and highlight only the parts that I want to get rid of. And that looks nice and complete. So now we have 4 heads, but really we have 6 because to get the 45-degree angle, you just need to flip this, and to get the 135-degree angle, you would just need to flip this. Okay, so the 315 and the 225 angle is complete. For my next video, I will be working on the side angles and the top and bottom view angles. Okay, so once again, at the end of each video, I like to show a clean version of the character so you can have an idea of how it looks without the lines. So this is the 315 and the 225 angle all cleaned up. And so for the next video, I will go back to the layers and we will start to build out the other angles. Hey, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. If you would like to purchase any of my products, head over to my store where I sell characters, props, and scenes. Stay tuned for the next video and take care.